Okay guys, welcome back, and we're going to follow on our series with our 20 handicap superstar Sam, and we're going to take it to the next stage of his fitting process, which is the iron fit.
Yep, so we identified a bit of an opportunity during his wedge fit.
Yeah.
That the irons might not be great for him.
Exactly.
That he has right now.
Yeah, we once we kind of fitted Sam's wedges nicely, we actually saw that the gap wedge on the pin glide was a little too close to his pitching wedge, and we didn't actually feel that that was a problem with the gap wedge. It was more of a problem actually with the iron set. Now, if Sam was to say to us, listen guys, I love my irons, I'd go, okay, no problem, we'll back off the gap wedge a little bit. But we discussed the iron situation with Sam, and he was more than open to more performance, as you can imagine. So we're going to look at Sam's current set of Mizuno MP54s with his Nippon 1150 shafts, see how those are performing. But I think there's an opportunity there to get some more performance, Matt.
Yeah, so having played together, Sam, it's the shot to the right is a bit of an issue, and distance coming up a bit short. That's pretty much what you struggle with?
That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah. And that's been the theme with what we've seen. You know, there's the sort of short right, the long left, and I'm not expecting to see too much different here. So, you know, knowing Sam's game a little bit better now, you know, I've got a pretty good idea as to where this is going to go. That's the benefit of kind of knowing Sam's swing. Yeah,
and I was going to mention, it's kind of like when you've done sessions with me.
Yeah.
You're really able to cut to the chase a bit because you've seen me hit so many, and now having had Sam in twice now, you've seen a lot of swings. So.
And I just love that we're going to be able to basically have Sam through the whole fitting experience, and you know, I'm already in my mind trying to get the video ready for what it's going to look like, you know, the middle end of the year, Sam. And I want to you know, do a little revisit on your game and see where your handicap is, because you know, the improvements we saw with the wedges, getting more bounce in your hands, the driver optimizing that. I think the irons we can really make a dent in as well. The whole thing is going to, you know, really amount up to a significantly better golf game.
I think so.
Yeah.
I hope
Sam thinks so as well.
Sam's hoping so over there. Right, let's take a little look at your Mizunos, and let's see how far and how straight those are going. Okay, Sam, good job on those. We saw a little selection of shots there that you call very typical of what you see. You know, some strikes a little low in the face, face a little bit open, dynamic lie angle a little bit toe down. Really everything that's causing the irons to be a little bit short and not quite give us the distance that we should. Sam, how far do you kind of play your, what yardage do you know, hit your 6-iron from normally?
I hope to get 160 yards.
Yeah, and you know what, I actually set the pin at 160 because that's about what you should get based on your speed. So your swing input is well worth 160, but you're not realizing that with the performance from the club. So, I mean, head-wise and sort of shaft-wise, you're not that far away, but the MP54 is not going to be a club that's really going to generate too much energy for Sam. It's going to be a little bit low in ball speed for what you really need, so those mishits will kind of fall off a little more than they should. So why don't we put something together? Definitely a more upright lie angle is going to really benefit you, Sam, like it did in the wedges, you know, really kind of holding that line a little bit more on the target. So let's put something together for Sam just now. Right, Sam, so we've got you in a different setup here. We've got you in a slightly heavier shaft. This is the Nippon Modus 105. Really the main reason I'm getting Sam in a heavier shaft is when you see somebody who takes the club a little inside and then a little over the top in the downswing, weight is always their friend.
Right.
Having the awareness of where that club is as they start, the downswing from the transition is really key. And the lighter the club, it tends to make that move a little bit worse. So it just bumped up the weight a fraction, slightly stronger profile than the NS Pro series. So we've got the Apex head, which is definitely one of the quicker heads out there. Nice soft forged head, but still has the cup face technology, which produces lots of speed.
Right, so we should get a little more ball speed for him.
Correct.
But the forging lets you went 2 degrees up?
2 degrees up right
2
on
degrees
this
up.
one. Yeah. Okay. Right, Sam, let's see a few with this one. I think people are going to think we're faking these videos.
That's a good start.
That's just incredible.
Sam, I think people are probably going to be watching this back home and going, yeah, these guys are, they seem like good fitters, but they're even better at editing these videos. These seem. Tell us, before we even get into what we think happened, what did you feel like happened there with that one?
I really have no idea. Even my miss hits were pretty good.
Yeah, 20 yards further.
Did you feel like you were making significantly better swings or quite similar swings?
Similar swings, but it felt like impact was so much better.
You were getting a little more out it.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, some of the things that we put into that club that we were trying to kind of help bring out some more performance. I mean, we went a little bit less loft.
Yep.
We went with 27 degrees of loft on your 6 iron. So, we are definitely seeing distance through that. But that's not where all the distance is coming from. Actually, the bigger part of that is coming from the face squaring up a lot more.
Right. So you went lie angle 2 up.
2 degrees up.
Right.
Yep. And Sam actually had his at Mizuno standard, which are 1 degree down.
So this is
there's been a 3 degree change, which is obviously quite a lot. If we look over here at the dynamic lie angle, we saw that the lie angle was coming in, a little bit toe down to start with, and
4, yeah.
Let's see, dynamic, 3.7 down, and now we're actually half a degree up. So we're influencing that face angle through that dynamic lie.
And we saw a massive difference in how straight they were taking off. Still a little bit of a fade at times, but those are on the green versus missing short right.
Well, you see that little comparison there on the accuracy. We're no longer, starting on line and moving right. We're starting slightly left and moving it back to the target line, which is the ideal fade. And that's just going to give Sam so much more confidence. Now, I would probably like to see Sam spin it a little bit more, but height-wise, if I look at that he's actually slightly higher apex now with this iron than he does with his Mizunos, even with less spin, because he's getting so much more speed.
Yeah, and that's the important thing to say about the design of these irons. I mean, everyone's going to say you gave him 2 degrees less loft, obviously hit it further, which is fair.
Yeah.
However, the design of the club gave him more height.
Absolutely.
And it went further, so it was just a win-win in that case.
I make zero apologies for at times using loft as our friend. The same way as that, I would use loft with a better player to take a little bit of ball speed away and make the iron less jumpy and less susceptible to flyers. And Never apologise for that either. It just is what the player needs.
Of course.
You know, and Sam may benefit from having, you know, a fraction more loft just to get that spin up towards 5,000. But, you know, honestly, Sam's going to play better golf with that setup the way it is.
For sure.
Ultimately, that's the only thing I'm caring about. I'm a worried how a 20 handicap, Sam, you're not going to be a 20 for long, but I'm a worried about, you know, does your ball stop next to the pin when it flies? Not really, because 15 feet, 20 feet, still good. You're just going to be so much better, so much more accurate.
You're talking about, like, take the Masters that happened as an example. Those guys need to land it in a 2-yard window.
It's a segment of the green.
Yeah, no one else needs to do that. Like, Sam needs to get the most out of his miss hits. Sam needs to hit it 160 in the air and get his yardage. That's what's going to help him.
Sam needs overall better performance, and that includes distance. You know, Sam is going to benefit from this because he's now hitting his irons about 2 clubs further. Yeah. You know, so all of a sudden he's going in with an 8-iron rather than a 6. That's going to help you get better. You know, because we know those long irons are tough for you. So, you know, you're with the irons going so much further. I mean, you know, we might need to rethink that hybrid for it we've done with Sam.
We're going to probably have to redo it,
If 6 irons going 170, you know, that hybrid we had was going 180. So that'll be basically your 5-iron will be going about 180 now. So we might need to think that strategy for Sam. So
interesting
stuff. It's just all upside, really.
And a couple things I wanted to pick out. If we go to the club page there. So when you were talking about the lie angle, so it's easy to see that you made the lie angle, you made an improvement there. That's obvious for everyone. Talk to me about how that directly impacts the face angle, because I know we've chatted about it and said, okay, we're using the lie angle to straighten out the ball flight. But look at the face angle reading, and you literally close the face dynamically 4 degrees.
For sure. I mean, if we take this club here and we tilt it down, the face then points right. If we tilt it up, the face then points left. So we're influencing where the face angle is dependent on the obviously the lie angle of the club.
So Sam's club face was already pointing right, no matter what he did. Now you pointed it 4 degrees more left on every shot.
Sam's tendency, because he gets a little bit across, a little out to in with the path, is to keep the face open. Then the dynamic lie angle is already sitting too much down, so you know it makes that face to path discrepancy a lot worse. By moving that lie angle a little more upright, Sam's going to get much better face control.
Very cool. And then if you look at, I mean, a good story, just from my perspective, is always, okay, the head speed was marginally different, a mile an hour, but the efficiency rating went up huge. So he's getting way more out of the same quality. I guess that's the story, is the same quality of swing gave him a 100 times better result. Yeah,
I mean, there was marginal differences to the swing. I mean, the path improved by, 1 degree, the face by more, but the biggest thing on that was just, Sam started to get really solid contact going on. He was able to hit it on his line that he was aiming at.
Yeah, the strike point, I guess, would be one that we should show. I mean, it doesn't look like a lot, but that's however many millimeters that is. He's going to get more ball speed and better height and all that kind of stuff versus the thin one.
That's exactly it. Yeah. So, a little bit more. Did you feel the extra weight in the shaft, Sam? The setup, did you feel like it was a little bit heavier?
Couldn't tell.
So it felt okay. I mean, that's a question that we ask people, and we get various answers all the time. Some people feel the weight a lot. Other people are less sensitive to it. We know that this is a fractionally heavier shaft, but
you saw the path was influenced at least a bit by that change he made, and maybe he's hitting it a little more solid because he likes the weight of it better.
I would guess that had an influence on the path. Feeling that the club can stay behind Sam a little bit longer, so he feels like he's able to release it a little bit more. What happens when the club path gets a little too much out to in is the player has to hang on to the face angle because the path is moving too much to the left. Right. The target is right of that. Then they have to hang on to the club face, and that invariably is what causes the slice.
So again, you've influenced his swing to some degree by making a club change.
Trying to sort of build that into it, and the beauty of using an iron like the Apex is it's obviously very bendable. So if Sam works in the swing, which I know you're actively working on your swing and trying to improve that all the time, as that swing evolves, we can allow the clubs to evolve with you. We can change those loft to lies and make them whatever they need to be.
Might come back in July and need a weaker loft by a degree and a little bit flatter, and then he'll have the same result.
Exactly. Yeah. So that gives you longevity with the set, which is obviously the key, because a club that's performing this well, you're going to want to hang on to them for a few years.
Yeah, for sure.
And we should mention it again the way we did with the driver. These results are really obviously very good, starkly good, to the point where I know people will be a bit suspicious, but his set of irons just wasn't well fit to where he was getting ball speed loss and face angle right. This wasn't a crazy, from your perspective, you didn't do anything crazy.
No.
You just gave him a more square club.
This is normal.
Yeah, this is kind of what anyone might be able to come in with if they've got the wrong setup.
And if we can do one thing, just Sam, if you've got a few more swings in you, I actually wouldn't mind moving Sam's irons a little bit more upright and just seeing,
see the difference.
Yeah, see the difference, because there's going to be people will say, why didn't you guys move Sam's irons and see the true difference once the lie angle is the same? So if we can let's do it and see what the change is in there.
Cool.
Okay. All right, Sam. So we've made the adjustment to your own iron. We've moved it to match the lie angle of the apex, just so we're able to show a little direct comparison. See how much the head is really influencing the result. Okay, Sam, excellent job, and quite interesting when we changed that lie angle to make it upright to match what we've done with the apex. The flight really did straighten out nicely for
Very
you.
nicely,
so, if that wasn't in your budget right now to change your irons, maybe that wasn't what you were planning on doing, you could certainly walk out here today with a better set of irons than you walked in with.
Yeah, totally.
Right, so that's
you could have gotten the straightness factor.
Yeah.
Not 8 more miles an hour ball speed. Because it's probably important to say as well that if you just went and strengthened those lofts, he's going to hit them way too low because the iron head is not designed that way. Plus the bounce is going to get messed up and blah, blah, blah. Like, it's not a good idea.
Not a good idea in that particular one. So just by making a little more square contact, we can see we're losing a little bit of launch angle, a little bit of spin, increasing ball speed, and adding some distance, which is fine. That's what we were looking for. Looking at the new dynamic lie angle, it's bang on.
Yeah, you did exactly what you said.
It's right where we need it to be.
Yep.
But ultimately, if we compare the new setup with the Mizunos versus the Apex, it's still not even close. Still not even close to what it needs to be. So you're still sacrificing a club and a half. And
look at the height. Like, he's still hitting the Apex higher with less loft.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that's where we can give Sam two scenarios. We can go, okay, here's what yours look like improved. Here's what the best case scenario is with a club that's properly fit, using a little bit more new technology. This is what you stand to achieve.
Yeah. And then at that point, your customer can make the decision if they want to buy something new, they can, or they can take an incremental update to it. And it also depends what they came in with.
Yep.
Because if Sam had to come in with a different profile iron, maybe this is a different story. But this opportunity where someone has something that's not giving them much ball speed, I would say this has to be pretty common.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. It is. I think we're doing our job properly and standing to within the integrity that we hold ourselves in when we do show you that yours could be better than what they were. We don't just go, yours don't work for you need a new set. Yours could be better, Sam, but there's better than you're better. There's better out there with a different set. So I think that's important to note as well.
Oh, totally. So he could either leave with a lie and loft adjustment, which would already have been included, or new set of irons and pick up, 20 yards?
Yeah.
I told you 20 yards, didn't I?
You did.
Yeah. Okay, good stuff. Guys, this was kind of exactly what we wanted to show. We set out with the intent of showing you guys what the iron fit kind of looks like in at TXG, and I think Sam has demonstrated exactly the type of improvements we see day in, day out. these types of things, these types of changes, this interaction, it's exactly what we offer.
Yeah, and again, nothing crazy was done,
No.
but a ton of performance picked up with some nice changes you made. Yeah.
Exactly. So leave the comments below if you guys have got anything, any questions from the fit you would like to ask us. We'll do our best to get to those, and we'll talk to you again soon.